fuck is up? You already know what the fuck time it is. It's another episode of the goddamn Nasty Sports Update. Today we are sponsored, yet unsponsored by Kamala Harris. Cause we did it, yo. We're gonna be the next president of the United States. Let's get into a few fucking topics. Hey, look, man. Phillip Rivers retires. Wow. The greatest average quarterback ever. He is the greatest average quarterback ever. And I don't want to disrespect him, even though I am. He is going to go down as a nigga that is always going to be on the outside looking in of the top 4 greatest quarterbacks ever. That's the fucked up part about it. You know, even though we're going to leave Joe Montana out of this, leave John Elway, Dan Marino out of this, because if we looking at pure stats, as he leaves the league, he's top 5 in passing yards with 63,444 all-time passing yards. Number 5 behind Favre, Breeze, Manning, and Brady. And he is also 5th in all-time touchdown passes with 421 behind those same 4 gentlemen. It's hard to say that that's not all-time great. But if we look at Phillip Rivers' career outside of the stats, never made it to an AFC championship game, never made it to a Super Bowl. So clearly you can't be a Super Bowl winner if you ain't make it. And we look at the Hall of Fame. It's a couple of quarterbacks in there that didn't win a Super Bowl. Dan Marino, Jim Kelly. And when I look at it, do I think that he had a better career than Jim Kelly? Yes. Because you look at Jim and he had more interception. He had around, his interception to touchdown ratio was terrible in the playoffs. And he has a gold jacket. So when I say the best average quarterback, that means I'm putting you better than Jim Kelly. I'm even putting you almost ahead of Dan Marino. I think Dan Marino has the sweetest pass of all time. He has, his mechanics is probably the greatest of all time. But you look at the Pro Bowl selections, you look at, where he's at statistically. If we looking at somebody, even though he didn't make the Super Bowl, I think he had a better career than Dan Marino. I know he had a better career than Jim Kelly. There's a couple other guys in there that he surpasses statistically. But when you never win a big game, you still on the outside looking in. It's kind of like how I look at Jason Witten when they were bringing him in and seeing, before he got his Hall of Fame induction, he was never better than the top guys at his position. He was never better than, clearly, a Brady or a Breeze or a Manning. But you can't deny being number 5. You cannot deny top 5 in anything. So I'm happy for you. I know that you were one of our biggest rivals in the AFC. And we would have to come and, see LT, motherfucking Antonio Gates. And you would be out there willing and dealing. And you were a true soldier when it came to football. Trash talker. But, hey, go take care of them 10 kids. Heard you was going to be a high school football coach as soon as you retire. Like, that's what you're going to do. And shit like that really be like, man, that's the type of shit that make you know that you love football. For you to leave the game and immediately want to give what you know from the pros, from college, automatically back to the youth, man, that's real admirable. Still couldn't get over the hump. But we love you. Shout out for what you did, young Phillip. Lamar and Mahomes both got their ass knocked out in the goddamn game. Mahomes, you was looking woozy, or woozy. Had to carry you off the field. I'm happy that you all right, because you was looking wobbly. It looked like you got knocked out in the 4th round by a Tyson fight, nigga, by a Tyson punch. Chad Henne comes in the game, make the greatest play of his entire career. High school, college, or pro, or little league. For that to be, this motherfucker, you never in your entire life ran 14 yards faster than you ran them 14. But, I'll tell you this. I didn't expect it. When I'm watching, I'm looking at the TV screen. You take off. You start taking off in front of niggas, and I'm like, hell no, that ain't Chad Henne. That's another white boy dressed up like Chad Henne. They just got the same number in jersey. And then you slide head first. You go head first. Really trying. I'm like, shit. Niggas in Ann Arbor should really be looking at this. To this coming up season, Jim Harbaugh should have that play in front of the Michigan motherfucking football team and tell them, if you ain't willing to fight like this and give up yourself, then you should go home. And I don't even know why I'm giving this nigga some fucking pointers on how to be a better coach with his bitch ass. But that's really what he should do. Because the staple should be, this is what Michigan men is supposed to do. They supposed to lead head first. But that's a conversation for another day. Lamar, unfortunately, his backup could not come and do the same thing. Them niggas was way out of there. Speaking of that, and speaking of Jim Kelly, goddamn Buffalo Bills, going back to the AFC Championship for the first time since 1994. Nigga, ever since that three-peat they had of losses in the Super Bowl. Greatest three-peat of all time. I ain't gonna hold you. But they go against those Kansas City Chiefs, and it's looking like Mahomes will be just fine. That's a big problem. But we got to show our love. We got to show the love to Josh Allen. That boy been out there playing football. Hey, I know a lot of people, especially last year, we saw flashes and seen the potential, but they were putting a lot of guys over him. Even the love for Carson Wentz, Dak Prescott, even Lamar. It's a lot of different people but Josh Allen, that Stephon Diggs trade, why shouldn't we be putting him over Deshaun Watson? Why shouldn't we be putting him over Carson Wentz, over a Dak Prescott? None of them have made it this far. Yeah, Wentz, they went to the Super Bowl, but that was on the back of Nick Foles in the playoffs. Playoffs is different than the regular season. Looking at a Dak Prescott, he's not taking the Cowboys to where Josh Allen is taking this Bills team. And regardless of how good Stephon Diggs is, you got to get the ball to him. I mean, 6'6", he's out there wheeling and dealing. Not only that, but also rushing. Shout out to them. I mean, I give them a chance in this game because, of course, it's football. It's not basketball, not a 7-game series. So anything can happen. That's all, that's as the old adage goes on any given Sunday. But I think that if Mahomes is even 90%, that they'll get the job done because the Bills, I don't think that they have the pedigree or what it takes just yet to get them over the hump for this championship. But they could be back. Look out for them, and look out for them making some moves during the offseason. Is Drew Brees retiring? That's the big question that everybody wants to know. Where everybody's seen the wholesome moment after the NFC divisional round with him, Tom Brady, and his kids throwing touchdowns, and that was really a touching moment. But is Drew Brees gonna give up the reins over there in New Orleans, especially with Dan Campbell coming over here and becoming the head coach for the Detroit Lions? Speaking of that, 6-year contract. What can we see in Detroit with him being the new head coach? We know that he likes to go out there. It's definitely not going to be like what Patricia was doing. It's definitely nothing like that because they're going to go out there and they're going to be hitting in practice. This ain't no cakewalk. This is the real thing. This is every day is a goddamn game, even in practice. Before we get out of here, Kelly Loeffler, it's been a fucked up 6 months, ain't it? From being in a high position ranking in the Senate, owning the team, to now your team gone and you lost. To somebody that was a preacher last week. Take your ass home, bitch. That's what the fuck happens. But this has been another episode of the greatest, the dopest, the wisest sports commentary in under 10 minutes. We'll see you next time.